What do you think of when you think of an OG FNF mod? Perhaps you think about Sarvente and Ruve, Zardy, Hex, the original imposter, Cabby, Tabby. All of these are pretty big and recognizable names, and maybe think of Tricky and Witty, the two big originals. Well, those are all good, but me, I like to think of Garcello and Annie. They are pretty cool. Never really was as much of a fan of Annie as I was for Garcello, but then the creator of both of those mods decided put them together, remaster some of it, and then we get Hazy River. My gosh, I love this mod to pieces. Before Mario's Madness, this right here was my favorite FNF mod, and it was for a long time. I don't know if that sentiment still holds up, especially not compared to Mario's Madness, which is the king of FNF mods in my eyes. But now there's a lot of other mods that I've been able to look into, and some of them compete with Hazy River. But this will always be the most special and close to heart for me. Now, there are a lot of songs here. Well, actually, there's not really that many. Only 12 songs. This will be easy. I'm ranking all of Garcello's songs, all of Annie's songs, the 3 bonus songs, and I will not be ranking any of the extra songs Atsuover has made, such as Unleashed. As much as I love that song, I'm not going to rank it because it's not a part of the official mod, depressingly enough. And I will not be ranking the minus Garcello weeks, because, it's literally the same songs as Garcello's week, just with a different visual style. So that doesn't count. Not for this video. No. All that counts is Garcello's main songs, Annie's songs, and the 3 bonus songs. Let's go ahead and get started. Here is my least favorite, the only song I would call a C tier, Tug of War. Gonna be honest, never really been a huge fan of this one. Annie doesn't sound at her best in this song. The instrumental's a little bit too much, in my opinion. And the song just sorta doesn't have the same catchiness that a lot of the others do. I do still admittedly like parts of this song. For example, I love when Boyfriend and Annie duet in this mod. It sounds honestly amazing. Like, the two of their voices together are a perfect duet. Like, it's so good. And that's especially it's complemented by the fact that Boyfriend sounds a little different in this mod than he usually does. And I'll take it, because he sounds decent, all things considered. It's a little different, but I do like how he sounds, and it pairs super well with Annie. And it makes the ending of this song really stand out because it is really catchy. But, gotta admit, the rest of the song beforehand is just alright. It's not bad, but it's just okay. I think the thing that I don't love about this song is how many pauses there are. As the beat's getting kind of good, then there's just this little pause, and then it gets back up. I get what it's going for, but it's really just not my type of music, at least for this song in particular. It also kind of just feels like it exists without really a lot going on. I don't know, this one's alright, but it's always been my least favorite. I know some people are not going to be happy that Take a Swig of This is pretty low on the list, but I gotta be honest, I'm just sort of iffy on this one. I've grown to like it, and it's still a B tier in my opinion, but it's kind of got some issues. This song is sort of what it would feel like if Animal was a demo song? I don't know, it's like trying to be a remix, but also it's not. This one wasn't a part of Annie's week originally, and I think it stands out the most, and not necessarily in a good way. it's very much weird for me to actually talk about this song because I don't entirely know how to articulate how I feel about this song. A lot of its best moments, which are good, kinda just already sound better in other songs. The slower parts of the song sound surprisingly nice, and the song as a whole is decent, but every melody feels too different, or like I've already heard it in a better song. I don't really think on the song. It's just sort of one that comes on, I vibe to it, and then that's it. But then I actually try to think about it critically, and it's alright, but weird. Good enough. Okay, so fun little fact about this song, it is an entire FNF version of one of Otsuover's actual songs by the same name, Good Enough. I really like this melody, it's honestly super catchy. Granted, this is another one of those cases where it's like this is just a cover, so I shouldn't rank it very high, hence why it's pretty down low on the list. But all things considered, this is still a solid song. Like, Annie and Boyfriend both sound pretty good. Instrumental is solid, and as I already said, I do like Annie's chromatic in this mod quite a bit. And the duets sound good in this song. Yeah, it's all around pretty good. I think if I had to pinpoint one little issue, I definitely think there could have been more added to this one, and it does feel like the slowest song of Annie's week, which, it's not bad, but it kinda makes it feel a little bit on the weaker side. I still quite like this song. Like, the original Good Enough is a really good song, and this version definitely holds up pretty well next to it. So yeah, solid song. Just kinda wish there was more to it, other than just a cover. Okay, so Fading is a super short song, so I don't have much time to talk on it while it's on screen. So, let's see how fast I can talk about everything that I love about Fading. Alright? Okay, so Fading is really good because it captures Garcelo's week perfectly at its ending. It's super emotionally investing because by this point you're super into his character and you want to see if you can maybe find a way to help him, but then you realize, no, you're out of time. And the song is super good because of how short it is. You really want it to just keep going, but then it ends just a bit too soon, and unfortunately that is why I'm ranking it lower, because of how short it is. I wish it was longer, but it's not, and that's kind of the point, but also that makes me sad. It's hard to really describe how much I like it. I love Garcelo's vocals, I love this instrumental, it's super good at capturing its emotional tone. Oh, it's so good, I just want more of it, and that makes me sad, and now I'm mixed, and it's just ranking here because that's really the only place I could find myself ranking it. Oh, I did it! Tone It Down, my least favorite of the 3 free play songs. Kind of a shame because I do like this one. This first half is surprisingly catchy. It's really nice to listen to. The second half is alright, but it's very different from the rest of the soundtrack. I love the soundtrack for how chill it is and how much of a vibe every song is. And then Tone It Down is kind of weird because the second half takes a step away from it and gets a lot more into the intense vibes. Which I'm not entirely against, but it's just so different that it's hard for me to really love it. Now, who is this character? You might be looking at it and think, oh, well, that's Annie. Technically, but also no. More, this is a legacy version. All of her sprites are repurposed sprites based on her old design. Or I guess her original design back when the first Annie mod came out. Yikes, those do not look good. So it's kind of funny getting to see them referenced here. And then once the liquid is drunk, Annie doesn't turn into her modern liquid form. No, she turns into this thing, which... Okay, I gotta admit, the design is cool, but I'm happy we have the liquid one we have now. It's significantly better and a lot more unique. This one is just sort of a bit too out there? It's a scrapped design for what was now her liquid design, which, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Some people thought that this was supposed to be like a reference to Faker and Black Sun from Sonic EXE, and it's like, no, that's not what this is, so let's just go ahead and get that very clearly out of the way now. Like I said, the second half is just such a step away with the intensity, and even though I think it's done well, it also just kind of is a bit too different from the rest of the soundtrack for me to love. Not to mention, I think intensity isn't exactly this mod's strength in terms of music, so... yeah, it's alright, but I feel like it could have been better. Now, I know some people might be rather surprised to see Release not in the top 3, much less number 1. So, I got some explaining to do. For one, I really like the song, let me make that clear. Release is a great song. It's just a straight vibe and a bop at the same time. But it's still a little bit lower than I'm pretty sure everybody else would rank it. I do have a little bit of an issue with this song. For as much as I like it, part of why it's not ranking higher is because I just like the other songs more. And that comes down to the instrumental partially. Don't get me wrong, the instrumental is good, but I don't know, there's something about the way that in Headache and Nerves, the instrumental and the vocals just blend so well together and make it really nice to listen to. In my opinion, Release sort of doesn't do that. It kind of feels a little bit too disconnected. Not much, but more than the others. At least for me. Like, the instrumental just doesn't have as much going on. It's not as interesting to listen to on its own. Again, this is compared to the others. Release is a solid song, but there's also one other issue that I have with it. It gets a little bit repetitive, like it kind of feels like you're listening to the same rhythm twice in a row, and then it's a new rhythm twice in a row, and then it does it again. Granted, I guess the others in this soundtrack are also by nature a little bit on the repetitive side, but Release strikes me as one of the more repetitive ones of the bunch. Still, that tight bars, Little Man, and then that ending pop-off is really good. I love the ending for this song. It's great, and it justifies why it's so loved. If this is your favorite, I get it. This is a good song, but just me personally, this melody's never been one to stick with me nearly as much as, again, the others I have ranked higher. Still a great song, and vibe to it every time it comes up. Just personally not my favorite. Dilemma is honestly such a bop. Like, this one is like the most vibe soundtrack other than one. And I really like it. This is sort of a funnier song for me because Ozzy Over made a much shorter song called Garcello and Annie Sing a Song on Their Way to McDonald's or something like that. And gotta be real here, it is honestly criminal that they didn't put that melody in here, just full sending it. That would have made this song a little bit longer, and I actually would have liked it if it was longer and it included that melody. That would have made this one probably an SS tier. As it is, I still love this beat. Instrumental is real catchy. Garcello and Annie sound great together. And this is just a really nice and catchy beat. But I was so hoping that main melody that Ozzy overused before would have come back, and it didn't. It's like, why wouldn't you bring it back? That melody was so good. Oh, that hurts. But you know what? I still love this one. Really good and really catchy. I also gotta love the ending gag where the employee starts repeating everything you heard. That's hilarious. Why does no one talk about Lover? Oh my goodness, golly gracious, this song is so catchy. Like, I can't even, it's so good. I love how Annie sounds here. This instrumental hits this exact right balance. Like, Good Enough was too slow, and then Tug of War was too fast. Lover hits the exact tempo that's like, yeah, so good. I love how Annie and... I already said how much I love Annie and Boyfriend's duets, and this song has the best duets between them. Because a lot of the song is made up of their duets. Yes, please, I love it! This main melody is so catchy. Seriously, why does this feel like the most underrated song in the mod? Why do I never see anybody talk about how good it is? Like, people will talk about Good Enough, even Tug of War, and Take a Swig of This, and especially Animal, which we'll get to. But nobody talks about Lover, and I'm just like, why? This one is so good! Oh, I love it. No complaints here. Just a great song. Drowning. Oh, I love this one. Oh, this is such a good bop. The instrumental is super catchy. I love Daddy Dearest's vocals in this song. He sounds really good. And Annie sounds even better. Like, both of these two chromatics going back and forth sound great. And I love how Annie is even wearing Garcello's hat. Oh, if you understand the story significance behind this song, it makes it so much better. Also, I find this hilarious as a little detail, but the fact that Annie is always wearing a beanie, but now she's replaced it with Garcello's hat, means we have not seen Annie without a hat on. That's just a funny little detail. I love how during the more intense part, as Annie is repeating off Daddy Dearest's vocals, he sounds much quieter, almost as if he's muttering under his breath. It adds a nice bit of extra oomph to this already great part. And then this section is good. It's sort of... It's like, this is my least favorite part of the song, but I still love it. I love how you can hear Garcello's voice echoing in Annie's voice. It sounds so good, and then the song catches back up with that main melody. Oh, it is so good. This song is just an earworm, and I love it. I was not expecting this one to get as high as it was at first, but like, yeah, it totally earned it. It's great. Nerves does not need to be this good, and I love it. Garcello sounds great in this song. The instrumental is really nice and catchy. It has that kind of snappiness to it that I love. Like, it's like, yeah, you can hear every beat just right. The main melody is really memorable and honestly incredibly well done. And the coughing section, like, why does Garcello's coughs on beat sound this good? Like, I love it. I like the instrumental during this part as it kind of gets a bit more time to shine, which, yeah, I love it. And then after that, oh, this part is so good. I love that it's not the last time we hear it, too. This one's a bit on the slower side, but I think that's very fitting given the nature of this song. It captures its tone just right. It feels like a lot of these songs actually capture their tone pretty much perfectly. I like the slower sections. They sound really good. Garcello's faster notes actually work really well here. Honestly, they work better in this song than in Release at some points, which is kind of crazy to think about. Like, I love it. And this ending does not need to be as beautifully well done as it is. Like, I can't get over how good this one is. Come on, you already knew Animal was going to be this high. You already knew it was going to be. Like, this is Animal we're talking about. Anyone who knows anything about OG FNF songs that were, like, super popular knows Animal was one of the most famously popular mod songs of the old FNF modding community. Like, it was impossible to, like, not know about this song if you were part of the OG FNF fandom. That is how good this one is. The instrumental is real catchy. I like that this is actually a version 2 of the song, and it barely changed anything, and honestly, the improvements made here are really good. I love Annie's vocals. They're different enough to distinguish them from a lot of Annie's other songs, while also not being too different to ruin the charm they have. It's so... oh, I love it. And that main melody is... oh, it is just... it's perfection. I don't know what else to say here. It is genuinely perfection. This song, it gets stuck in your head so easy. I love the little duet section near the end. I love the natural progression of the song. Like, it's... the one thing maybe it's missing is, like, it could have used a bigger pop-off point, but I think version 2, this version, fixed that, because when Annie and Boyfriend do the duet together of that main melody, gosh, it is a perfect section. This song is too good. It's so good. Almost number 1, but number 1 is just a little bit better in my opinion. This is one of my favorite FNF songs of all time, and I will never take that back. This main melody is one of my favorite melodies in the entirety of FNF as a whole. Like this. I cannot get it out of my head. It is that perfect. Oh my gosh, and this instrumental is heavenly alongside Garcello and Boyfriend's vocals. The duets are perfectly placed during the song. The ending does not need to be so good and a perfect way to end off the song. And then even in the middle, when it's like climbing up to this great point, and then it kind of slows down with the instrumental while Garcello gets more notes to play, is a weird sort of structure that I think works for this song. Actually, I've said perfect way too many times, but I can't help it. I love this song. I love this mod. I love everything going on here. Headache is top 5 FNF songs, or at least it's right up there near them. Like, oh, it just is so good. It's maybe an underrated pick, because a lot of people will say, like, Release and Nerves are better. Nah, it has never been close. This has always been my number one of this mod. Love it. Oh, it's so good. Getting to listen to the soundtrack all over again, just so nice. This is one of the best soundtracks in any FNF mod, and I will die on that hill. Like, Tug of War is the 1 C tier, and even then, it's still not bad. I still kind of like it. But with all that being said, here's my tier list. Yeah, like I said, great soundtrack. Honestly, great soundtrack. And now, with this mod done, almost kind of sad. I wish I got to talk about this one a little more. Feels like it's over too soon. What a shame. Well, I guess it is what it is. Now, what's next? Let's see here. Did Orpal guy. What else was I going to... Oh, right, Funkin' at Freddy's. Well, that sure is going to be a fun time. See you guys in the next video. Bye!